My name is Grant Stern, and I'm here for PINAC News. Alongside me is Joel Franco.
Hey.
And we've also got Felipe Hemming, our chief investigator, on the line. Thanks for joining us today, Felipe.
Hey, thanks for having me.
So, Felipe, can you tell our audience a little bit about the story that we broke in North Carolina? It was an incident that happened on March 19th, and we broke it on March 20th, involving a student filming the police who were tasering another student at his school in North Carolina.
Okay, the backstory on this was a drug transaction gone bad, and as a result, the individual who attempted to procure the controlled substances by trading a cell phone attempted to get his cell phone back, and the individuals that were selling him the narcotics told him he wasn't going to get his phone. He went to the school resource officer. The school resource officer didn't know about the drug transaction and basically told those two individuals, leave the young man alone, don't mess with him. The two young men didn't want anything to do with it. They got physical with the school resource officer, headbutted the school resource officer, and that's where it started to escalate to a point of violence. And that is where a gentleman named Sterling went ahead and broke out his cell phone to start documenting the interaction. The video starts with a young man on the ground being handcuffed, and as it pans to the left, you see another teacher attempting to hold another individual back. Those two individuals have been charged and arrested, and it has been documented in local media. Meanwhile, the young man who we wrote our story about was being manhandled, tried to stop him from videotaping. He was exercising his First Amendment right. He could be heard repeating, "It's my First Amendment, it's my First Amendment." And later on in the video, he identifies himself as a member, as a citizen journalist. And
yeah, hold on a moment. Hold on a moment here. Joel, you've experienced something similar.
Yeah.
As a student, does he have the right to film the police?
He does, especially since they appear to be outside, after school, I think it was. I faced a similar incident like that when I was in high school about a year ago. I graduated, but during my high school days, numerous fights in school, so I broke out the phone like any other teenager would and started recording. And there was one incident that actually Carlos Miller put up on PINAC involving me recording an incident and a security guard threatening to, suspend me for 10 days if I didn't give up my phone and delete the file, for example. And out of fear, I deleted the file.
Now, wait a second. Were you able to recover it? Because people don't realize it, but just because you've deleted a digital file doesn't mean that it's gone forever.
Yeah, Carlos Miller actually showed me a program called PhotoRec. It's photo spelled correctly and then rec, R-E-C, which I was able to recover the file and have it up.
Alrighty. So what's going on with this particular incident right now, Felipe? Is there any further follow-up, or is it just that?
Absolutely there is. Sterling's back in school.
Okay.
He was threatened with if he didn't take the video down, he was going to suffer consequences on North Carolina law, which says if you upload a video for the purpose of intimidation or harassment of a school official, you can be charged with a felony. Well, that's not the key problem with that situation. Is there's intent. Sterling's intent was not to harass nor intimidate, but merely to document the circumstances. And as a result, I made contact with the superintendent of the school and their representative, a lady named Susie Weiberg, and she's been in and out of the office and been unable to provide official comment as far as about this story here. But I'm still pursuing it until they give us exactly what we need and rectify the damage that was done to Sterling, because he was suspended for greater than a week.
Now, hold on a moment. Hold on. Your audio cut out there a little bit.
All right.
So the student was suspended temporarily, correct?
Yes, we were suspended for over a week.
Okay. So let's shift topics for just a second. There's another similar incident that happened in Florida this week.
Correct.
Right. And that student was initially suspended, right?
Yes, she was.
Tell me a little bit about the incident in Florida, because that was also reported on in PINAC News.
Well, my understanding with this incident, the young lady was in a classroom where she witnessed a school teacher talking poorly or bullying a student. She had the wherewithal to go ahead and pull out a phone and to record and document the incident. And as a result of her documenting the incident, the teacher said, hey, basically pointed her out for doing that, and she was suspended for much like everyone else in this conversation was suspended for documenting the issue. Once it came to light,
Ultimately, didn't her evidence lead to some teachers being disciplined or even terminated?
Absolutely. The teacher that was documented bullying has been terminated. I have requested. I was requested to get the documentation of the conversation between the school superintendents and administration and the staff. That request has been submitted. It has been acknowledged. I've had multiple phone calls with the public records provider. We've narrowed it down to the specific conversation, and we'll be provided those documents shortly, so we can actually see the conversation between the school superintendent and the schools and how this came about from the initial discipline to where we
hold
are
on.
right now.
For our audience out there who may have had trouble hearing you because you broke up a little bit, now that the incident has happened, you're actually digging in and you're going to go find the documents that show how did they come to the decision
Absolutely.
starting a suspension.
Absolutely.
Alrighty, well, Felipe, thank you very much for joining us to discuss these two important PINAC news stories. I'm Grant Stern,
And I'm Joel Franco.
and this is PINAC News.